What's Up Talk Radio. As always, you asked and we provided. The triumvirate, the three musketeers, however you want to call it, we are back for the night. We are joined by Mr. Stack 3D, Shane Smith, and of course, the man behind the Apollon franchise, Mr. Robert Samborsky. How is everybody?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
Fucking fantastic.
So I'm gonna start off and throw Robert right under the bus here before we go into stuff here. Okay.
Sure.
I want the three of us to jump into our DeLorean and go back in time. Okay. And Robert, I need you to explain what this is if you can see it.
You know what? I don't remember. I had this barber friend of mine, and I think the Apollon Nutrition was. It was like 5 or 6 years ago. I was taking a trip somewhere, and he came up with that idea, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So like, for the hell of it, but it was fun.
Shane, I know
Wait,
you
is
can't
that
see it, but it's the
is that
Apollon
is that
Nutrition
the
in his head.
Yeah.
Into his head.
is that shaved or is that a tattoo?
No, it's shaved. It's shaved.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I thought it was a tattoo and like it's just been hiding all this
No,
time.
no. I wouldn't go that far.
And of course, we know you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't do anything. So again, whatever.
I might start.
Oh my God. But guys, as always, it's good to connect here. So we've got questions for everybody here, and let's have some fun. First one for Shane here. It says, Shane, what is your criteria for picking brand of the year or the nominations for brand of the year?
I actually had this. I get this a lot because it happened maybe 3 or 4 times this year. People were like, "Oh, seems like I could kill myself and still not make brand of the year nominees." And I was like, "Okay, like." So the way it works is, we watch throughout the year, right? So if you launched a brand new supplement, like an entirely new supplement every month throughout the year, and it's a good supplement, not like something basic or standalone, that I guess might be the standard, the measurement. Like if that could be the winner. Now let's just say someone does 6 months out of the year, right? That might not be enough unless each of those products are really, really good. And the consistency throughout the year is a big thing. If you drop 10 or whatever at the start of the year, like it's probably not as exciting because the rest of the year we don't hear anything. And so like if you can follow that kind of like throughout the year, that consistency, keeping the innovation exciting and fresh and different, that's generally what we look for. Obviously, that's not how it plays out for everybody, so we have to kind of like look for different things in different areas. And we also kind of like to reward anyone who enters markets that is their wheelhouse. So like if Apollon is a protein bar, that's a pretty big fucking deal because that's a whole different kettle of fish. It's a whole different market, whole different way of selling things. So when they branch out into categories that are outside of their wheelhouse, that also adds some pretty big points. So if you do 10 products throughout the year, like that's not a number to go by. That's just an example. But 4 of them are different categories, different formats. That helps play into it as well. So generally, that's how I sort of measure it. Keeping things exciting throughout the year, staying solid, making sure you're putting out like furthering the goals of the consumer, offering more, which is what I think most consumers would want. Like if they're trying to build muscle and someone launches a muscle builder and then something to complement it 6 months later, that's a nice way to further the goals of the consumer. And we look at it from that aspect, like how much they've furthered their consumers, not necessarily like what have they done compared to this guy and this guy and this guy. So we get together 10 to 20 brands per year, and then we announce the nominees. It might be 4, might be 6, might be 3. And then it may also, they may not also be like, it's not a first, second, third, fourth, fifth thing. Yeah. Like if it was all Heistem brands that were nominated, people might think it's a Heistem award. So we try to show diversity across each category, at least for the nominees. But the one winner is the core winner overall.
So now if somebody, let's say, comes out with an energy drink and they come out with different flavors, is that still considered like just one like product in your mind? Or if they're coming up with like maybe
No,
unique flavors, does that play into your thought process at all?
no, because like again, the different format, it's a big deal. Same with pre-workout RTD, but flavors to me, like they're fine, but much to what I was saying about furthering the goals of the consumer, right? Like, let's say you get into supplements, you're taking protein, it helps with recovery. Like, I say this many times, no one takes a protein powder because it's a tasty chocolate milkshake. No one takes a pre-workout because it's a refreshing beverage. That's for the purpose. Without the purpose, you wouldn't be having it.
Yep.
Just because like someone comes out with a fun flavor, I don't think it naturally like gives them any extra points because you've just given them the same functionality. Your goals don't get any closer or any greater because the functionality is exactly the same. They do play
Okay.
into it a bit, but if you launch 20 flavors and two brand new products, I'd probably favor the guy who did the two products because those are the things that would actually genuinely help benefit someone who's trying to add more or get more or gain more.
Now that your daughter's getting older, is she part of the nominating crew, or is it still just you and Nikki?
It's just me and Nikki. We got a few other people that we talk to around the industry just to like get ideas on. Like I'll ask just a random person just to hear what they think. Like it's not usually someone says anything, I'll be like, oh, yep, guess that's the one I'm going with. It'll usually be to be like, oh, okay, didn't think of this person, or seems that that person's there, but I don't think they did shit. So Ava does, she does enjoy. She has like an amino, a BCA before going to the gym. She doesn't actually go to the gym, but she does go to the gym.
Of course, sit in
That's
the corner.
she likes. She's got into the routine where she's like, oh, this is big kids energy. I'm
Yep.
like, do not take a sip of this pre-workout. You will explode. Especially if it's like a hooligan or something. But she does the amino like a BCA and then pretends that it's a it's a pre-workout.
So what you're saying is you're not giving her any hooligan or anything.
No, she can recognize the things as well. She'll if you put a soda in front of her and an energy drink, even if it's she's never seen them before, she'll identify via
Okay.
size or branding. So she'd be like, "That's a big kid's drink." The only one that's ever thrown her off was Liquid Death, and
Was what?
rightfully so. It's not Liquid Death, you know, the water,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
which makes sense because it's made to look like alcohol. But you know, that's the only one that she's been like, "I can't have that."
Love it. Love it. And Rob, in tandem with that here, someone said, congratulations on another nomination for Brand of the Year. Who do you see as the main competition this year?
Ooh, this should be cool.
um, listening to what Shane just said, and I totally see that. I mean, that I guess the way it should be in terms of like multiple releases. The one thing that I definitely have to agree with. I noticed that some companies, and I remember Shane pointed out to that once, where some companies will release something for about 2 or 3 months and then just fall off, or they're not going to do shit for the entire year, and then all of a sudden November or December rolls in, and all of a sudden they lining up the releases, which kind of is very obvious what they're doing, which is kind of stupid too. But the thing is like the key I think to anything in life is consistency, because if you want to achieve results, say for example in the gym, and I'm being definitely very very honest right now, and trying not to be biased, which is obviously hard to do, but in all seriousness, I think that brand of the year is kind of like Hollywood tends to release movies that they want Oscar nominations. They tend to release the top movies at the end of the year, which is very very pathetic because obviously everybody's paying attention throughout the year. And I never understood that. Why does the movie come out in September, October, November, December, just before the Oscar nominations? Like, what the fuck were you waiting for in the middle of the year or beginning of the year? So same thing with the supplement industry. Like, I'm literally right now, when we're gonna be done with the podcast, I'm about to finalize releases for the entire 2025. I
Jesus.
mean, I've been working on it for quite some time, and right now I'm actually gonna finalize it, send it to, you know, to Marina, to Carolina, to Kay, to Masha, and going to find us the entire year. I mean, of course, it changes as we go, but the key is consistency with everything in life. You have to be consistent. I think that, you know, it's cool to be nominated again for, for the fourth consecutive year. And I mean, that just shows, because we don't have investors, we don't have partners, we don't have any of that. I mean, our entire crew is less than 10 people, and to be able to stay consistent as we are, that takes a lot. It takes a lot more than for the bigger brands that have the deep pockets and stuff like that. And I'll never forget, at last year's Olympia in Orlando, when Scott Walsh approached me, and that was the highest compliment, honestly, when he said, "We at Muscle Tech cannot do what you're doing." And I think that consistency, it's not about the brand of the year. I enjoy what I do. I honestly enjoy what I do. I enjoy working on formulations. I enjoy working on different things. I enjoy the innovation. I enjoy to raise the bar and to challenge not other brands, but to challenge myself. And in terms of that, honestly, if you ask me, I see no competition. I really don't. I don't see anyone who can compete with Apollon when it comes to diversity, innovation, consistency throughout, not year, but throughout the last 3 years. I mean, we've been very, very, very consistent. Um, so I don't see any competition, to be honest with you. Not among those brands. I see competition maybe when it comes to financial success, because obviously they're very, very successful. I mean, you can't deny the fact that Rise and Raw are extremely successful companies. So, if we judge by that, then I guess, yeah, I mean, they wipe the floor with us easily. But then again, the investments and the marketing money and what they have is just ridiculous. But when it comes to formulations, when it comes to consistency, releases, diversity, I'm sorry, I'm just being honest, they can't touch us. It's not even possible. Um, the other brands, the only one that would come to mind, because I guess I have respect for them, is Ghost, because I really have respect for that brand. I do.
Hmm.
Do I think that they've done what we've done this year? They've done a lot, and obviously they've been in the news in terms of selling the company for $1 billion. I don't know if that has anything to do with being nominated for Brand of the Year, but it definitely keeps them in the news, and I
Hmm.
think that's very, very substantial. So I don't see competition, and I don't look at it that way. At the end of the day, it's of course Shane's call, and you have to respect it one way or the other. That's just the way it is. But no, it's still a cool thing to be nominated. I sound right now like a fucking Oscar nominee who didn't win the Oscar. You know, it's kind of stupid, but honestly, like I said, it's very cool. Shane is one of my closest friends in the industry, so I can say it. He knows some of the secrets and some behind the scenes things that we've been going through. It's been a very rough and challenging year for us, but nevertheless, this is already a reward to be nominated, and great. I mean, what can I say? It's a fantastic feeling, and I appreciate that.
Robert, do you want to share how many SKUs you're dropping next year, whether it's flavors or just products in general, or no?
Uh, we dropped less this year for sure than last year. Although I don't know, because we also have Anarchy Labs.
Hmm. Okay.
There's a couple of products there. I mean, at the end of the day, it's also on us. But I know not less than probably two products, flavors, or something every month. And when I say that, that might be two products a day. No, I'm just kidding.
Products
But
a day.
I'm kidding. It's gonna be a busy year for sure. I mean, we're gearing up, right now with increased brand popularity and the growing demand and everything that we've built. I think that it's gonna be definitely along the lines maybe with what we did this year, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but I still plan on staying consistent. Like I said, I love what I do. It's more than just a job for me, or more than just money. It's just something that I really enjoy, and to see others sometimes borrow my ideas and copy what we do and stuff like that. that just shows that we obviously doing something right. And I remember at one point, maybe a couple of months ago, when I pointed something to Shane, he said to me, "Well, what do you expect? You're a trendsetter." So that was pretty cool. I think that that's a reward just to hear something like that.
Robert, will you be focusing on a little bit more on I guess, the single ingredients or whatever the term is? Because they had glutamine, and we just saw magnesium glycinate announced a couple of minutes ago.
No, not really focusing on that, but I think that there is demand for it. And to be honest with you, it kind of played out last year when one of my manufacturers said to me that he has a lot of Tutka, and he asked me to do him a favor and pick up Tutka as a standalone just to help him out. And I was like, yeah, I don't know if we need it because we have liver lover. I don't think there is need for it, but we said, yeah, okay, let's do it. And we did it, and it sells, and we reordered a couple of times. So I guess the single ingredients, the commodity stuff, it does have a place. I mean, look, doesn't matter. Every company has creatine, and it still moves
Yep.
great. I mean, moves. So I think that we will continue releasing it, but it's definitely not my focus. I mean, it's not something that I prioritize.
Okay. And Shane, this actually comes from our Polish friend, and you know who that is. He said, "How's your bulk going? Are you on a bulk of some sort? Are you doing a
Mm,
winter bulk?"
not necessarily. When I was in South America, like usually we have, usually we like I travel mixed in with work, so like it might be, I don't know, like a few months at a time, like before this year. And so this year though, I said to Ava and Nikki, I was like, you know what? When we go away on holiday next time, I'm just not going to go to the gym, take some rest. So, like, during our entire excursion of South America, I didn't go to the gym for like 3 weeks, I think.
Jeez.
Um, I don't think I changed too much in terms of weight, but I think the muscularity, like when I got back in the gym, I was like, "Fuck, this hurts." So there was a bit of, and I kind of just was like mostly spending time. So I was eating whatever I fucking wanted. I was doing whatever I wanted. I wasn't working out. It was a good time. But I did jump in. I don't know if Lucas is referencing because I didn't train for so long, or I did grab like a big stack that involved a couple muscle building products and a few things, basically in the lead up to the Arnold. So we got like 3 months now, maybe. I think was it?
Okay.
Yeah, 3 months give or take. So I'm trying to basically, what you'd say, recomp into the show. I can't show up too small. Can't be ripped enough that I look too small for. Yeah, and it's winter, so in Columbus, no one's fucking wearing shorts or anything anyway. So
Yep. All
gotta
right.
Shane,
look
did
good
you
in a
did you
shirt.
notice did you notice that if you're bigger, you're getting also stronger?
Oh yeah, like because leading into the trip, I knew I was gonna have time off, so I was just fucking around and just not staying too on track. But tell you what, like it's nice. Just size moves size. It kind of helps when
But do you
just
follow any specific plan, or you just eat whatever? Because I doubt you're the type of person to eat whatever.
oh, but like right the week before we went away, and then we went away, I just ate kind of like whatever. But because I'm a creature of habit, like my whatever is still like a meat heavy fucking meal. Like when we were, to be honest, in South America, all the restaurants and meals were pretty much meat heavy anyway, so it wasn't like you could overdose on carbs.
Okay. So, guys, I have a question here from a very close friend. It's a brand new Pagini Pro, just took third place in her first show. So, congrats to her. She's, I have a very generic question. Would you consider digestive aids or GDAs as gear, or are they regular supplements?
Wait,
I mean,
GDA as
Glucose disposal agents, I'm sure she's speaking of.
a straight supplement. I
it's a
mean,
supplement, yeah.
in my mind, if you're not buying it in an alley or behind the
Yeah,
gym,
I agree.
Yeah.
I
if you're
mean,
going to a store and you can
I
get it
mean,
there,
it depends if it's a GDA, if it's an actual supplement, then yeah. I mean, if we're talking about prescription, like insulin
Yeah.
or metformin, then I guess it's something different. So it depends on that.
I'm gonna
You
say
wouldn't.
over the counter because she uses digestive
Yeah.
aids as well.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
supplement, 100%.
And Robik, I know you're kind of indifferent to GDAs. I know you shared some the other day. Do you want to quickly just share what you kind of spoke about the other day on your Instagram?
Oh, yeah, I got a lot of that. Uh, I You know what? For the past couple of years, we've been asked like to release a GDA supplement, but I mean, I was very, very honest. Like my thing is, and I also talked to Shane about a couple of ingredients that I actually don't want to do at all because I think that I have a very strong stance that at least Apollon will be. If an ingredient is part of Apollon nutrition, I want that ingredient to be number one beneficial. I want that ingredient to work, and I want that ingredient to be fully dosed. That's pretty much my principles. I don't believe in GDA as what it's intended because the thing is, it's supposed to mimic something like metformin or insulin. Direct the carbs into to use them as fuel, and and I especially don't like the advertising and the marketing campaigns that supplement companies do when they put pizza or burgers or ice cream or something like
Yeah.
that. Then you have this little bottle of shit right next to it, meaning advertising, okay, you can eat whatever you want, you take this supplement, and you're not going to store carbs as fat, which is complete bullshit. But at the same time, supplements like berberine, they proven to work. It's a solid supplement.
Yeah.
It's a solid ingredient. Glucomantage, which is super berberine from NNB, that's a solid ingredient. I actually take it, but I take it because it helps. It helps, and I still, in the morning I have either oatmeal or Ezekiel toast or something like that, and I'll have 2 capsules of Glucomantage. I mean, if I have in the morning, I don't know, a couple of slices of pizza or a bowl of rice and potatoes and stuff like that, that glucomantage is not gonna do shit. So you don't see me promoting it. Like I can put it on the counter too and take a picture of it, just saying that I'm using the supplement. But to say that it does miracles and it's gonna make you from fat fuck into a skinny person, and you're gonna be ripped and stuff like that. To me, that's a false advertising and it's misleading the consumer and it's just bullshit and I'm not buying it. So that's the reason why, I wouldn't. I can't accept it, and I'm sorry. I mean, maybe I have a big mouth, but I'm just, I express how I feel. And if you ask me a question, I'll say it. If something doesn't work or advertised as false advertising or it's misleading the consumer, I'm just going to say what's on my mind, and it's backed by facts. It's just I'm not a believer in what they preach. I don't.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you hit it right on the head. Is people think it's the miracle drug. I use it once in a while for the bigger meals. I feel it's more for helps a little bit with digestion versus carb shuttling and everything else that people push it for.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem, I'm not saying the ingredients that some of these products have are bad ingredients, because most of them do have berberine as part of the formula. That's automatically is a good ingredient, and some of the ingredients, I think they're using curcumin or whatever. I mean, it's good products, good
Hmm.
supplements, good ingredients. Nothing against them. It's mostly what they're preaching and what they're saying it does that I have a problem with.
Yep. This one comes from our good friend Spencer, and it might be more for Robic than Shane. But what are your thoughts on Peptistrong?
Well, I know Shane used it because Glaxon did it, so
An
I
anomaly, I
used
believe.
it. Yeah, I haven't used it. I mean, on paper, it looks like a cool ingredient. I mean, it's supposed to increase strength and muscle, and give you
And
energy,
recovery.
recovery. I haven't used it. I've never used it. I actually think Marina has it. I think she's used it, but I can, say that it works or it doesn't work. I think that just like any ingredient, it's a little bit exaggerated as to what it actually does. I mean, at least I think so. But I know, like I said, Shane did use it, so maybe he can give his opinion.
Good, Shane. Did you
Yeah. I
try
mean,
the anomaly or
it's.
anything?
Yeah, I tried. I have it right now. I think maybe. So someone asked me on social. They were like, "Should I buy this standalone?" And I said, like, you have ingredients that are incredibly effective by themselves, like creatine, caffeine, like they're things that deserve to be by itself. And then you have things that really kind of need to be in a concoction, like a cocktail, like a test booster, with like so that they can rely on each other to kind of push that boundary. Peptidestroyn, I kind of likened it more to the latter, like it need to be in the mix with other things. But because like most of the brands I've seen with it, it's quite pricey. Like in Anomaly, it was by itself, but I had that with Flight and Alpha 365, and so when I had all three, I noticed a bit of extra recovery. And then I have had Alpha 365 by itself, so I kind of only noticed a bit of recovery. I didn't really notice like huge strength gains, and I guess if you have better recovery, that can lead to that.
Mhm.
But it wasn't like, holy shit, I need to stock up on this. Like, there are ingredients, like colostrum is a big one that I use, Synactive is a big one. Like, I'll have those standalone that I'll add in. Like, and even if it's in supplement, I'll just have more. Like, those things for me push the edge a bit. And I know that it was that Spencer from Applied. Was him, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because they just put it in their in Applied's creatine, the creatine hybrid creatine at Vitamin
That'll
Shop.
explain it. Okay.
But it was like I thought it was interesting because to pair it with creatine is an interesting way to go, but it does double the price. So like it's I think it's $30. They do their 60 serving creatine. Was it 25? I can't remember. Whatever it was, those 60 serving of creatine and Peptidestroyn is twice the price as their standalone creatine. So
Okay.
it's like you got to have that argument. Like, is it worth doubling? I would rather put it in a blend with a bunch of other things, like other muscle building ingredients, um, and then just kind of lump that together. I don't know if I would take it standalone or like pay enough to think by itself. But in a blend, I think it's going to add like, you know, collectively a whole bunch might help improve recovery by like 5% maybe. I'm always shooting for the low numbers.
Shane, when you use like this type of stuff and muscle recovery stuff or anything along those lines, are you conscious of trying to keep it as a standalone? Because I'm sure you probably take multiple different supplements a day. Like to actually really pay attention to, okay, there's nothing that's biasing it, if that makes sense.
It's I'm pretty sure Robert will be the same. Like if you live that lifestyle where you train 5 times a day, right? And you're eating chicken and rice 4 times a day, right? That's your regimen. Like, and these aren't effort things. This is just what you do. That's part of your life. And even when you do a cheat meal, it'll be like chicken heavy. It might be Popeyes or whatever, right? So when you add something in, it's very easy to notice the change. It's very easy. So like if before I go to the gym, right, I take a pre-workout. That's a perfect situation to notice a pre-workout. If I had a pre-workout while I was asleep, I might not wake up. So
Yeah.
like for me, if I had something that's for recovery, if I had anything, and I've lived this lifestyle for like 15 years, I will know if my recovery is better than it should be. And if it is, I might do something like, 3 leg days across 2 weeks. And if I'm
Okay.
not like completely fucked up, I haven't recovered enough and I perform shitter, or if I get stronger, then I've got like little things that I'll keep like, okay, this is helping like recovery and performance. This is just helping recovery.
Yeah.
So there's like I've always got a good way to like figure out what's doing what, um, based on kind of what their purpose is or what changes.
Okay. Now both you guys are big energy people. Have you guys tried the new AI by Jack Owoc?
I
Hold
have.
on.
Ravik, go ahead. I've seen a lot of more negativity, I think, than positivity. Maybe you're different.
Okay, so I tried only. Actually, we had a meeting with a friend, and he gave me and Masha. He gave to try blue raspberry. That's the only one I had, and to be brutally honest,
You know.
uh, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I mean, it
I
wasn't.
liked it.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't the best blue raspberry I had, but it wasn't bad for sure. So I mean, I love. I don't know. For some reason it's typically not my thing, but I love the design. I mean, I really like the and it's typically completely not my thing. I like the design. The flavor was okay. I thought it could be a little bit more intense flavor, but it wasn't overly sweet. It wasn't anything. It was good. It was good. It wasn't great, but it was definitely good.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Go ahead, Shane.
I think they're good. Like, to be honest,
What
for a
did you try?
first,
Which ones did you try?
I tried every single one. I
Oh no.
pre-ordered
Oh
the day
yeah,
their
I
website
only
never went
tried
up.
one.
I pre-ordered all the whole family. I got the grape, the watermelon, the blue ras, the peach. I think they're all good. They're a little on the sweet side, which I like. But like Robert was saying, I think it's the carbonation. I don't think the carbonation is as like polished as you get in like a Monster, a Rockstar, or even Ghost. But and the can is also wrapped. And like I could be wrong on this. As far as I know, you wrap a can when you don't have like when you get to a certain size, you print the can and the cost offsets.
Yep.
Um, so I'm wondering if this is like an initial small run, like this isn't a huge run. And the same thing happens when you do, like I've noticed when someone does like a small run of an energy drink and then a mass produced run, the carbonation, the taste, all this stuff changes. So I'm curious if this is like kind of like a first run and he's going to refine it from here.
Mm,
Because I think for a starting point, it's damn good. Like I remember a lot of first versions of a lot of energy drinks, and that's Jack Owoc, right? He made Bang. Dude knows
yeah.
his shit. I also feel the nootropics aren't hugely dosed, but it definitely has that edge to kind of kick you up. And interestingly, and I don't know if this actually matters, but if anyone pays attention, there's area Gerensis is in here. So it's you list it
Oh.
as a flavoring ingredient. It's not an actual active ingredient. So it's where is it? It's just after the sucralose. So it's not a huge amount. Like I don't know what the amount would be because it's obviously the other ingredients panel. But I thought it was very interesting that that's actually in there, or if that has some sort of an effect. Because I do feel this kind of kicks like it's not like a hit. It's an energy drink, but it lifts you up if you throw a whole can. Far more than I guess another 200 milligram would. But
Yeah. It's interesting because I've only seen 4 or 5 reviews. I haven't seen a ton of reviews, and everybody thought it wasn't sweet, that it was kinda mild, and I think you're the first person to say it is sweet.
it's
I
not like
thought I
it's
only tried blue raspberry. I thought it was mild too, but in terms
yeah.
of like area Gerensis, I thought it was a very nice touch. I also heard a couple of people like really criticizing the formula, which to me is fucking ridiculous. I'm the first one who hates prop blends and shit like that, but it's a fucking energy drinks.
Yeah.
You know, all, you can have 200 milligram of caffeine and a good flavor and good carbonation, and you're good to go. So I think picking on that, especially when it comes to energy drinks, is ridiculous. It's stupid.
I mean, his bang was a blend anyway. I don't recall him being transparently dosed with that.
No,
No one kind of complained.
that's what I wanted to ask you actually next. How would you compare it to Bang?
I didn't like bang. Like I
Okay.
didn't like. I thought some of them were all right, but I never like went for it. And it was also 300 milligrams of caffeine. I thought it was interesting that he went 200 here, since he made his name in bang at 300. Um, I was surprised he went 200, but I wouldn't say the flavor is super sweet. It's definitely on the sweeter side, um, at least compared to some of the other ones. But I think it doesn't quite have what Robert was saying, the fullness. Like the sweetness doesn't necessarily last. It comes across more as like a hit taste. But I wouldn't be surprised if that's more refined in like a larger run or a bigger run or in future runs or something like that. But for a first outing, I think he did a damn good job. The design's pretty intense. I would say that
Yeah,
the whole AI thing.
I mean, they definitely put thought into it. Let me ask you something. So, you tried all the flavors. So, if you pick one of the more conventional flavors that other brands have, how would you compare it to other brands?
Ooh, it's tough because
Like, what flavor
like
do they have that other brands have?
I
Well, the
mean
grape,
he's
I
got
think there's a grape, isn't
all
there?
of them. All of
All
them
of
are
them.
like
So,
other.
so
Yeah,
if you
all of them.
compare like grape to, I don't know, to other grapes.
I mean, Monster Ultra Peach wipes the floor with their peach. Like it's not
Yeah,
a,
that
it's
one.
not a,
Yeah.
it's not an argument. So it's kind of like, but I would say that yeah, this is a good drink. I would if you're gonna go like Monster Ultra's 10. I don't know, like original, like Zoa, no sugar is at the other end.
Well, would you put it on the same level as, say, for example, Gorilla Monk, Ghost?
Yeah, but it obviously doesn't have those actives, so the difference in taste it's a different offset. Like when you have more actives, you can pick up on them what they're masking. Here, their actives aren't really being masked. It just seems like it's not a full flavor. But like I said, I think Jack, like most energy drinks that do a first run aren't usually like head out of the park, right? Like there's many that have done that just weren't that
Yeah.
fantastic. So I think that if he gets into a bigger run, more stores, I can imagine this would just become more refined pretty quickly, knowing what Jack does with this stuff.
So now I remember Bang cured Alzheimer's. What does this cure? Does this cure breast cancer or anything? Or
I'm pretty sure he ain't going near any claims at all. I would be surprised if he makes even remotely the same kind of mistakes or like steps that he did that got him in the situation that Bang ended up. I would suspect it would be like, yeah, he's driving heavy on the AI train on this, right? Like all the
okay.
marketing. He hasn't mentioned anything about, well, he hasn't mentioned too much about the effects.
Shane, talking energy drinks, did Ray's go out of business? I know Rep Sports kind of went away, but did Ray's go out of business?
I think they went out of business. I think they just changed direction, right? Last I heard, MacroCap obviously was a Nutrikey, Rep Sports Rays. And I think they just transitioned. And the last person I remember talking to was saying like they just put more effort into MacroCap. So like it was,
Oh, okay.
and obviously you can't take, if you're putting money that way, you can't put it over there. So I believe I could be wrong, but I haven't seen as much of Rep Rays and Nutrikey. I think that they are still doing Rays, but it's not being pushed, if that makes sense. I think there are a few
Yeah.
distributors out there that have it, but they're not like driving for more, at least from what I know last time I spoke to them.
Yeah, because I'm good friends with Lex Kovacs. I don't know if you know Lex. He was there forever. He was the
Yeah.
VP of sales or
Yeah.
something. He moved on. So I don't know if that was
He
if he saw
made
the
the
writing on the
booster.
wall or whatever.
I think he was just, they just didn't have, they just, like you said, companies' money. It'd be like Robic, like he had Anarchy and Apollon. If he wanted to push more towards Anarchy, like you don't instantly have more money. It has to be taken from. So
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
balance to it. So I think they had macro cap raised that had to be divided somehow.
Yep. Okay. And
Shane, I saw you posting something about actually one of my favorite, maybe even top three favorite
Oh yeah, you took the
drinks.
3D.
You know what I'm talking about because I
Oh yeah.
what the fuck is going on? But I mean that one is. I'll be honest. That one is my easily top three. I mean, it's
Oh,
Monster.
it's my
It's
Monster
3D.
3D for me. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. 3D is, but I see like a slight decline. I was like, are these guys going out of
No, no,
business?
no, no.
And then I saw you post
So,
something like, what the fuck is going on?
so if you remember when they first launched, obviously it was Up Energy originally, and then they had the whole, legal thing and changed to 3D. Um, so Congo, the owner of Prime and Alani Nu, as far as I know, they had something with 3D Energy. I don't know what it was. I just know that they were all like they were under the same portfolio catalog or whatever. Um, and obviously Christian was still there, or well, it was his basically as well. So he messaged me and said, be watch out for a big something in 2025. And I'm like, why the fuck is Christian Guzman messaging me? And all he said was this. This seemed very obscure. He
Yeah.
didn't say anything more. And then I was like, okay, cool. Right. And then kind of piece, and I was like, something must be happening, like extra push. So they are now testing out a bunch of new flavors. The one thing that I didn't put on Stacked, and I didn't really mention yet because I don't know the full story and I don't want to get anything wrong, the teaser of the new flavors was from the owner of Raw Nutrition, Dom.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I don't know like what I don't know like the depth that they're involved, but he told me a few things. So he is either has a hand in it or has some part of it. I don't know what Congo's situation is still with it, but it seems there's something happening. And then when I saw Dom and then Christian's comment about a big 2025, I'm guessing they're about to just go full train on this, really get 3D energy out there because it's in some big places and it's got a good reputation. It tastes amazing.
Yeah, it's funny because I like 3D also. I get 3D energy from the dollar store.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand how it because obviously at Congo you had Prime. Prime didn't originally have an energy drink, but Alani did. And I remember when the white Prime Energy came out, I said the flavor was identical to the original 3D white energy, the white 3D energy drink. And I was like, this is kind of weird. And then now this thing happens where it seems to be like going on its own. I always assumed that it was in Dollar General because if it was in other places, it might impact the presence of other energy drinks that
Sure.
maybe were other things. So I'm gathering that it's about to go into like because it was in GNC for many years. It's still in the UK from what I remember. Um, their production in the UK. So I suspect that they've got all the pieces there. They just don't really have the push, and I'm guessing now that push is about to happen. I don't know all of the pieces it's coming from, like exactly, but it sounds like a lot of power is being put into it in 2025. I was trying to get them to the Arnold, Christian Guzman and 3D,
Okay.
but it sounds like yeah, shitloads coming, and that still stands as one of my favorite energy drinks, second to Monster. But if 3D did more flavors, it would be probably my favorite, hands down. I grab that whenever I can.
Yeah. Okay. So here's one for you too, Shane, and obviously we can flip it over to Robic too. It says pre-workouts seem to be the category leader. Do you see any other categories overtaking this? Maybe I'm wrong because you guys are in the game more than I am. Do you think pre-workouts are still the number one category?
I
Shane,
go
you
first,
go
or
first.
I'll go first.
Okay.
um,
It's very hard to beat this category because I mean it seems like even if the company has like one product or two products, they always opening up with pre workouts. I think that pre workouts are not going anywhere because today you have such wide variety of pre's. You have pre workouts that cost like $20. You have pre workouts that cost like 70, $80. You have pump, you have endurance, you have different ones. I mean, you can still be very creative when it comes to pre workout, and that's the reason why I'm so, to be honest with you, I'm a little bit surprised by lack of imagination when it comes to pre-workout because I would say 60, 70, maybe even 80% of the pre-workouts are pretty much all the same. It's the same idea, same everything. So I think you can get a little bit more creative. I don't know, based on budget, based on goals. And I think that what people are forgetting that pre-workouts should not be, maybe I'm giving away ideas to other brands now, but I
Careful.
no, it's just something I was thinking about today. It was how much the supplement industry has changed in years. And I remember when I wasn't even part of the supplement industry, um, I was just a consumer, so everything was more like towards bodybuilding. But today, when it comes to gyms and fitness centers and the whole fitness craze, and right now with RF Kennedy, I think that that's going to take even on a whole other spin. Um, I think everybody wants to get in shape, or I mean, I even see, but the type of people that are coming to Apollon Gym today, it's not just bodybuilders and powerlifters, it's everyone. It's a
yeah.
very mixed community, it's a very mixed crowd. So not everything is about bodybuilding anymore. And I remember a bodybuilder, IFBB Pro, I mean, I can actually say Guy Cisternino came to yeah, came to Apollon about a year ago or something like that, and he criticized me for the fact that Apollon is not a bodybuilding brand. And when he said that, it came as a criticism, including the fact that on one of the containers was me. I have nothing to do with bodybuilding. I'm not a bodybuilder. On one of the containers we had Carolina, clearly not a bodybuilder, and on one of the containers we even had Jess. So he criticized that, and I thought about it for a while, And then I was like, I don't want to be a bodybuilding brand. I
Yeah.
want to be a brand. I want to be a brand that is there for everybody, that caters to everyone, not just bodybuilders, different ages, different sports, different athletes, different everybody. So the same thing goes for pre-workouts. I think that it's, protein is straight up protein. You have good protein and you have shitty protein, but it's still protein. That's just what it is. The same thing goes with creatine. The same goes with, intra workouts, maybe a little bit more diverse, but it's very, very straight up. But when it comes to pre-workouts, you can really target different areas. You can target different markets. You can go all over the place, pump, no pump, etc. So I honestly, and Shane might correct me, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see this category being overtaking, at least not in the near future. Shane, what do you think?
I think, to be honest, and I don't have like the data or anything, but I think that protein is still like number one. I it's not as competitive, obviously. Like you see a pre-workout every week almost, and some brands have four pre-workouts or five. Like it's huge. So and the category is so broad reaching. But I think that if you go to the gym, you probably have a protein and a pre-workout. But I think that if you don't go to the gym, you might still have a protein, but not a pre-workout. So I think like the masses, and you could even consider like some of the meal replacements that are not in the dietary supplement aisle. Those are theoretically still proteins. They have whey in them. Like so I think that that's still the biggest one. It's just you can't get sexy in that space, right? You can't, like, price is price. Concentrate, like, bad or good can make you shit your pants. Like it's all these, like, there's not much you can do in that place. Whereas pre-workout, like Rovic said, you can make a light stem, a high stem, a hardcore, a low end. Like you can't, like, protein is protein. The whole purpose is to get protein. So adding anything more to it to raise the price, other than giving you more protein, is detrimental to the whole purpose of it. Like at least with a pre-workout, you add more, you can get more. You add more protein, like you can't really, deliver the purpose any further than just selling it in bulk. But especially internationally, protein dwarfs the shit out of everything. Like India, South America, I imagine Asia as well. Like they definitely don't stay away from pre-workouts. It's just not as big. Protein, I think, is just like, and you also got to remember, um, 12 to 18-year-olds getting into sport, they'll have a
Yeah.
protein. They might not use it that much, but they'll have a protein just for recovery purposes. I think that it's too close to a food that we forget just how popular that space is. The brand, it's just hard to compete there. Like
Yeah.
Robert comes out with a pre-workout, someone else could be like, okay, I can make something similar price. I can try and like make it high dosed and stand out. With a protein, like, $50 or like $35 for 2 pounds, $40 for 2 pounds, 60 for four. Like the price is such a strong thing. Like you can't. It's. I think it's just too much of a staple that it would probably never be dethroned. Maybe like in gym goers, it might be not as popular as pre-workout. Maybe because there were people that go to the gym. I can imagine like newcomers that would take a pre instead of a protein, but then once you get into it, you got your diet, you're trying to like keep up your macros. Um, I just think protein is just too hard. Like they literally sell it in 10-pound bags. Like you couldn't sell a pre-workout for more than 30 servings. Like no one makes a bulk 60 serving because it's too flippant. It's too like, single use. Protein, people are buying 30, 60, 120 servings. That's how built in and ingrained it is to people, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. So to talk about that too, what is everybody's thoughts on these new $30 pre-workouts like Sebum Essential? And Robert, you and I have gone back and forth. We've seen some good and bad, but I'll let you take the floor for a minute here.
Um, I mean, for most part, I think they shit. I I said it with a straight face too. I started laughing when Shay started laughing. But they are. I mean, look at them. It's I just saw Gat released one. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? It's just
Oh yeah, Nitroflex Sport. Yeah.
yeah. The container is nice. I mean, the design is nice. The label is nice. The product is uh, not so nice. I don't think that there is a problem with because we can't put the price on it. I mean, there is a good product, period, and it's not necessarily that you got to have a hooligan. I'm kind of shooting myself in the leg here, but you don't need to have hooligan to have a good pre-workout. I mean, you can go with Desperado, but the thing is that you can create a good pre-workout with $30. A $30 pre-workout can be good, without a doubt. It can be good. I think that I've seen some, and I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say it. I've seen the cheap pre-workouts from Panda, from VMI, from GAT, from C-Bomb. I'm sorry, just
C4.
yeah, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with any of them. I don't think that they that good. I think that they were meant for one purpose is to make money, which is again, it's a business, so I totally understand. I totally understand everybody's trying to make money, but the thing is like a bunch of underdosed ingredients with 2-3 grams of citrulline or 4 grams of citrulline, which is 3-4 is a bare minimum, and a little bit of tyrosine and a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but it's still underdosed. Why don't you put a couple of good ingredients that will hit the spot that will maybe you're not going to use trademark ingredients, you're not going to use NO3T, maybe you're not going to use Vasodrive and those expensive ingredients. That's fine. You can still create a decent pre-workout for $25-$30. You can. um, but I see it right now, the trend going towards, okay, let's make as much margins as we can, and let's put together a $3, $4, $5 product and sell it for 6, 7 times more than it costs to make, and that's it. And everybody's going to be happy because they're getting a pre-workout with 4 letters CBUM, and all of a sudden it's going to sell because C-bomb is on it, and it does sell. I mean, listen, that's a fact. It does sell, and it does very, very well. Actually, C bombs is not that bad, to be honest. But there are some of them with 1 or 2 grams of citrulline, and oh look, we're giving you a cheap product, but it's a pre-workout. It's great. It's sport. It's essential. I mean, come on, it's bullshit. I mean, you have some pre-workouts for 40, 50, 60, $70 that are pretty shitty too. But in essence, I think that this is a way for companies to get away with an excuse like, listen, yeah, we didn't fully dose, but you're getting a cheap product here. So it's not something that I would rule out of making myself, and I've been thinking about it. But the thing is, if I make a pre-workout for $30, I would make sure that it's a decent pre-workout that it's not embarrassing to release. So I don't think it's about the price; it's about the quality and whether or not the product is good. At least when it comes to me.
I have to say though, Robert, you and I talked about Mark Glazer. I don't know if he dropped it yet. Is doing
His
price
is
point one that seemed halfway decent.
Yeah,
his
yeah,
was pretty
yeah.
good.
But listen, I
Yeah.
mean, I get asked that question for some reason almost on a weekly basis. What are like the top two or top five or top three brands other than Apollon that I actually like? And NutraBio will always be number one for me. Those guys make good products. I know that they had some issues with flavoring and stuff like that. That maybe they were not extremely delicious or anything. But when it comes to any product that NutraBio makes, it's a good, solid product. You will never hear me say anything negative about NutraBio. Probably the only company that I can't really pick on. So if it's NutraBio, that's pretty much like a seal of approval. Other than Apollon, I would always lean towards NutraBio because they make solid products.
Yep. Okay. So, guys, we're a week and a half removed here, but anybody want to share their thoughts on the Mike Tyson fight? Even if you want to consider that a fight. Shane, did you watch it?
I don't be rude. Like
Sure,
I
you can.
I get it. Like because you ran into two people, right? People were like, "Are you gonna watch the Mike Tyson fight? It's gonna be shit." And then you come to the guys like, "Mike Tyson's back," and I was like, "Look, okay." So I've watched multiple Mike Tyson documentaries. I love watching this fight. He was a fucking beast, right? His initial run, like before he went away, it was insane. And then when he came back, right, he had a little bit, but he couldn't recapture what he had, right? So he went away. He took some time off. He was, I don't know how long he was away for. I can't remember, but he was away and he couldn't get back to what he was. Add 30 fucking years to that, right? And I'm doing nothing because I'm sure when he was away, he was still doing some training, like you couldn't take it out of him probably. All this time later, 30 years later, he's an old fucking man. Like, no offense, but he's an old dude. There was no way in hell that maybe he could have an explosive 30 seconds. Shit, I could have an explosive 30 seconds. But there was no way he was going to be able to like have any sort of glimmer of what he once was. There was like, I just maybe one punch might look similar, but the strength certainly would not be there. There is no way. Maybe the speed, but whenever you watch those training videos, they were hyping it up. I'm like, this is like a fucking action movie. They were doing cut sequences and like moving the camera to make him look quick. And I was like, and then when you watch the fight and you saw his actual speed, I was like, why is anyone fucking surprised? And everyone that watched it was like, this is shit. I was like, what did you expect? He's 58 years old. Like I mean, I get it. There was hype that he could be Iron Mike Tyson, but I don't understand how anyone thought he could be. Like he is 58. Like that's an old that's hard. Like
Robic, I know you're completely opposite. Go ahead and give your counterbalance here, 'cause I know you're not going to agree with what Shane's saying.
Um, yes and no. I mean, listen, I think that I started doing kickboxing, Muay Thai pretty late. I mean, I was in my mid 30s. That's really, really late. Um,
really, I thought it was soon earlier.
no, I mean, I've done boxing and martial arts, but like in terms of Muay Thai and kickboxing, I started at the age of 34, 35. I started late and I had my first fight at the age of 36 or 37. And that one I lost. And then after that, I had 8 or 9 fights and I won all of them against younger guys. Um, and I remember when I was talking to my coach, my original Muay Thai coach, was is considered one of the top 5 fighters of all times ever in Muay Thai. I mean, he's a legend with 400 fights, never been knocked out, multiple stadiums champion in Thailand. I mean, he's a true legend. I mean, we are talking about like royalty, Thai royalty. And I remember when he was training me initially, after my first fight, he said that I was too old and he said that I wasn't good enough. And then a few years later, 2 or 3 years later, when I got to my second fight, that he actually said, do it. I was like, you called me old. You said that it's too late for me. He goes to me, no, you're good now. I was like, I don't understand. And I won a couple and we continued training, and then I was already, I think, in my early 40s, maybe 41, 42. We were training. Now keep in mind, he is about, I don't know his real age, but I think he's about 55. I mean, if you see him, you will never guess that he's 55 ever. It's impossible. The guy constantly trains. He's in great shape. He's phenomenal. He looks younger, but I think he's about 55, mid 50s for sure. And we were training, and he goes, "Oh my God, I'm an old man." I was like, "What the fuck?" I said, "Why are you calling yourself old? You're like only a couple of years older than me, and you're training me for a fight." And he goes to me, "No, you're a young man." I was like, "Okay, I really don't get it." And he explained to me, it comes based on mileage, just like a car.
Yep.
It's just like a car. So his first professional fight was at the age of 9. By the age of 29,
Ooh.
by the age of 29, he had 400 fights, and he retired at the age of 29 because he said he was too old. He said he wasn't as good as he was before, and all the punches, all the kicks, and everything else, it took a toll on his body, and his head was not in there, and he was not motivated. And he said for the last fight, he actually fought drunk because he went drinking just before the fight. He goes, I just didn't give a shit. So in terms of is Tyson is about 9 years older than me. I mean, I'm not comparing myself to Tyson by any means, but I just had a fight a couple of weeks ago, and I asked Marina, I'm like, did I look this like this? She goes to me, fuck no. She goes, no, you were moving, you were good, and I was like, I think that number one, Tyson has a mileage. He has a serious mileage. I mean, let's not forget he's the youngest heavyweight champion ever. I still
Yep.
believe he still is, which means I think he became a champion at 18, 19, 21,
Yeah,
something.
I thought he was. I thought he was 1920. I could be
Yeah,
wrong. Might
so
have
he
been
20.
was
close.
very young. So he started fighting professionally very early, and then he went to jail. He was away for a while. That will take. That will take. And when he came back, Shane is right. He wasn't quite the same. And then there was a gap, which I met Mike Tyson about 5 years ago or 6 years ago in Vegas. That was an old man. He was fat. He was slow.
Mm.
He was not boxing. He was smoking. He was drinking. A completely different lifestyle, and he looked extremely old. I mean, he looked older than he actually was. Kudos to him for getting in shape because he's in good shape for his age and stuff like that. But it's not quite the same Mike Tyson. And Shane is right. He is old. I mean, almost 60 is old. I also don't think he was I don't think his head is in there. I think he was motivated by money.
Oh
Not
yeah.
He was not motivated by going into a ring and killing the guy. And you could see even by some of the jabs, every time he jabbed that actually connected.
Yeah.
Jake Paul was fucking because the power is the last thing to go. The power stays with you. And he was obviously not training for many years. He was obviously not living the fighter's lifestyle. He was not doing any of that. So I don't disagree with Shane. I think that the mileage took its toll. The inactivity for so many years because ring rust is real, and
Was he training like at all? Like
no,
in
he was.
between?
I'm telling you,
No.
I have a photo somewhere. I'll send you where I'm with Mike Tyson. He's just a fat old man, and he was telling us stories how he likes to get high, and he went to Russia to get high and stuff like that. The guy was not. I mean, imagine, being a fighter of such high caliber and then not training for about 15, 20 years,
Yeah.
and then you're fat, you're overweight, you're not training, you're not living the fighter's lifestyle. He looked his age. He looked old. I mean, I'm not into conspiracy theories, but I have a theory that the fight was fixed. I think, and I don't think it was a real fight. I think they had an agreement. I think it was for show. They walked away with a lot of money,
Oh yeah.
Oh
and
yeah.
I but yeah, I mean, the thing is like I've been training nonstop. I always train. Shane will attest to it. I'm always training. He saw me train martial arts. He saw me train lifting weights. It has to stay with you, and you have to stay consistent. I don't do drugs. I don't do alcohol. I don't do any of that. And I think that I'll be 50 in February. I think that I kind of like preserved myself pretty good, considering everything, and I'm not ruling out that I will do it again. I still can move. I can still do it, but not because I'm as good as Mike Tyson. It's just because I'm consistent, and I'm staying consistent. Like we talked about, brand of the year, about consistency. Consistency is the key to everything. You have to be consistent, and you're going to be able to prolong your skills and everything for a very long time, and you'll be able to do it. But Mike Tyson looked old. He looked like he couldn't breathe after the first round. He looked like he could barely move. And, it just. Listen, it's a shame that we watched the fight. I'm actually embarrassed that I watched it, but like everybody else. And the fact that Manny Pacquiao and Mayweather fight is the runner up of the most watched fights ever. And I think that averaged, what, 10 million, if that? And this fight actually averaged 60 million views.
Yeah.
So when you're gonna look at the record of the most watched fight ever, Mike Tyson and Jake Paul is now the record holder, which is kind of fucking pathetic.
Yeah, but the one thing everybody agreed on though that Mike Tyson, nothing has happened to him, good or bad. Where every time you get on Instagram, it's Jake Paul. He's fighting Ali now because he's dead. He's gonna fight this person, this person. He's getting the
Uh,
biggest hit on this.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't know if it's true or not, but it was disclosed that Mike Tyson walked away with 20 million and Jake Paul with 40.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if
I
it's
heard.
true, but I'm pretty sure it's close to the truth.
Oh yeah.
And you
Tell you
know what?
what, I would jump in the ring with Mike Tyson for $20 million. I'd jump in the ring
Exactly.
with fucking most of the people for $20 million.
Exactly.
But like, fuck that.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
you have a perfect example right now. Shane, did you watch John Jones fight?
I did. Fuck.
Okay, exactly. So John Jones is still fucking incredible, and they say he is older, blah blah blah. But okay, so John Jones is a millionaire. He is rich. He has money. He has fame. He is arguably the best MMA fighter ever. Now Tom Aspinall, who wants to fight him, he's a young guy in his 20s, very hungry, wants to fight John Jones. And John Jones doesn't really want to fight him. People saying he's scared. He's definitely not scared. He's just, doesn't want to do it for whatever reason. But the thing is that what I find interesting is the fact that right now when they get to talk, John Jones says, "Show me the fuck you money." Means that he wants so much money for this fight. He says, "Why would I put my legacy on the line, fight a young, hungry
Yeah.
guy?" He says, "Show me fuck you money." You know what Tom Aspinall wants? He doesn't even want money. He just wants the belt. He's
Wow.
motivated by championship, by belt. That's a hungry guy. That's a guy who wants the belt. He's fighting, he's training with only one thing on his mind. He wants to be a champion. That's a dangerous man. And
Yep.
then you have a guy who has everything. He has money, he has fame, he has legacy, he's done it all. For him, he's motivated now not by the belt. He says, "You know what? You're not going to make me fight Aspinall. And if you want me to give him the belt, I'll give him the belt." He says, I'm going to vacate the heavyweight title. He says, "I don't want it." Why would he want it? He fucking has light heavyweight, heavyweight. He has money, he has millions, he has fame, he has legacy. He's the best ever. He doesn't need it. So sometimes, it depends what you're motivated by. Mike Tyson got into a ring one thing in mind only: money. He
Yep.
didn't go there to knock Jake Paul out, which means that regardless of how good he is or how old he is, he wasn't fucking training. Those clips were made just for
Oh
Instagram,
god.
for social media. That was just for fans to fucking buy Netflix if they don't have it yet.
Yeah. Well, he went on openly and said he doesn't care about his legacy. It's more about taking care of his family and his generations with money.
Well, 20
Twenty
million for
million
what?
dollars. I'd,
Fucking
I'd drop
eight
my
rounds of 2 minutes? Why not?
I'd, dr-
Yeah.
I'd drop my legacy for $20 million as well. Fuck that noise. God damn.
You know what? A lot of people are talking shit about him, but the thing is let's be honest. Number one, we watched the fight, so we paid for it. Number
I didn't
two,
watch it.
I watched it unfortunately,
I didn't watch it. Oh.
but at the same time, he fucking got $20 million. How
Yeah,
many?
man.
Yeah, how many of us, if we are not on the same level as Mike Tyson, not even close.
Mm-mm.
But if we were 70 years old, we would still get in the ring for $20 million.
Fuck yeah, I would.
There you
God
go.
damn. I'd get in for less. I'd get in for way less than that.
I didn't watch the whole show, but there was I think right before the females. I don't know if you watched the whole
Oh,
thing,
they
Rob. There
were
was a
incredible.
Hispanic
That,
lady and
I
another
heard that
girl
was
beating the
really
f out of each
good. Yeah.
other.
that fight was incredible. That fight was just,
That made
it's
up
one
for
of
it.
the best fights I've ever watched.
They were hungry, just going at it. Oh my god. So anyway, back on track here. So somebody asked, and will we ever see Robert Shinetsky or Justin on the podcast? And I know we've reached out to Justin a few times. It's just a timing thing. But is Robert still alive? I know he's not podcasting. I don't see much of him anymore. I mean, Robert, do you talk to him at all?
I actually texted with him maybe an hour before we went live.
Okay.
Um, I don't know what to say. I just think that I I know he still works in the industry, sort of.
Okay.
He helps a couple of brands. He helps us a little bit. He does some write ups for us, but he's not on social media. Uh, I don't know if he's burned out or he's just not interested, or maybe he does something else. But I don't think that. I mean, I could always ask him, but I don't know if he would or he wouldn't.
Okay.
Justin, I know his schedule typically is a problem, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure Justin will do it.
Okay. Shane, this is for you as we wind down here. Shane, what will we see from Stacked in 2025, whether it's website, AI? Because I know you're always at the top of the, you know, ingenuity.
I got a few things in mind. The our rewards program was a pretty cool thing. Like that seems to be doing quite well. We made that was in September. I had always had the idea, but it was we put it into action and just seems to be responding pretty well. Obviously, we have the Arnold. I'm hoping to do a few more shows. I had an AI idea, or an AI sort of idea. I'm not sure how well it will work out, but we tend to do like a lot of things just for the shit of it, like just because why not? Um, Nothing that I can think of overly off the top of my head that I did. I can't. I was thinking of something the other day. I can't remember what the hell it was. Um, but yeah, I mean the usual stuff. After the Arnold would be pretty big. Like that'll be a nice weight off the shoulders until 12 months later. But that should be because we got a lot of. I'm thinking of. We're still debating whether or not to keep it the same size as last year because I believe we're at capacity now. It's whether or not I can get 8 to 10 more brands
Wow.
within that time, and so because otherwise, if I add another aisle, I have to fill it. Otherwise, it's not squared off.
Yep.
But we have it's a pretty solid lineup this year. Different, maybe 50% of the brands from last year are there. Some pretty cool ones to be in the mix, but yeah, and we also have a few ideas on like just promotional stuff for the Arnold and like trying to encourage people just to get there, check it out, stop by, trying to
Okay.
increase distributors going to the show. But yeah, for the next 3 months, that'll be the Brand of the Year Awards, the Protein Wars. Then we got the Arnold stuff leading up to February 28th. And I believe it's we're doing a few shows throughout that year, hopefully. More than
Sweet. And
usual.
I'm sure you already have the award made for the brand of the year.
No.
No?
I, I'm 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 shit when it comes to organizing those things. Like, because we're just getting the ring for the Protein Wars made now. So once that
Okay.
design's finished, that doesn't get produced for another 10 weeks, no matter what I do.
Oh,
So
interesting.
like
Okay.
in theory, I should have it now, but I don't, and it's not even been made yet. We're still finalizing the design.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
once I've done that, then I do the Brand of the Year trophies and stuff. But then even then we have to like, because they don't come here. We ship them straight to the winner.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I haven't even sent any of that. I
Okay.
should have, but I ain't.
All right, Robert, and we get this one all the time, and she might still be on the on the podcast here. When are we going to see Marina or Maria Masha on the podcast? And I know we've discussed this. The door is open, so if they're listening, and Maria is, the door is open. People want to talk to you. People want to hear from you.
Yeah, whenever they want, I'll just make sure that I'm not part of it.
Oh my God. But guys, anything else here? I mean, we've had a good conversation. I know we had one here too. That if we're going to do these more often, it seems like people want to hear from us, the three of us. But if people want to, comment below if you want to see this lineup, and maybe we'll have a random fourth once in a while. But anything else here as we wind down?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, I was about to say Merry Christmas, but I guess yeah, it
God,
is that
Shane.
first, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I have a question, Shane. How are the decorations coming?
Come, okay, so I tried to step up what I did last year on my house. So I ordered a 20-foot light up Christmas tree, right? And yeah, I got fucked over pretty hard. Actually, it was 24 feet. It was huge. Um, and then I got fucked over. They didn't actually end up delivering it, and so I was like, okay, shit. So now I had bought the lights for this tree. So I tried to make it out of like poles, and then the top one fell off. So I've now had to half that design. It's coming along. It should be all lit up by December 1st. We are covering our front yard in a fake snow. It's like a white fabric because it doesn't snow here in New Zealand. So we got to try and replicate the white Christmas of the all great America.
You got to do like you do in Hollywood here. They use potato flakes. They don't melt.
No, so we got like I can't imagine that'd been an overly good idea for like for a 30-day display, right? So we have some fabric that replicates snow. We've got like hills that we're going to put it through. It should look good. It should. Might look shit. Who knows? From afar, everything looks great. So we'll just take a photo from far away.
And since you spend so much time here in the U.S., you gonna have a fake Thanksgiving there or no? Or mock Thanksgiving?
I do celebrate these American occasions. I
Do
don't
you?
do it the right way, but like Independence Day. I don't know. I mean, we can't do fireworks. We can only do them around like the fireworks time, November. What are the other ones you guys have? Thanksgiving is a
Halloween?
big one, but I mean, making a giant turkey is a big fucking effort, man. Like, it just seems like a lot of effort for just a little bit of meat. And I completely despise any kind of meat that you have to get the fucking bones out of. It doesn't make any sense. There's so much effort just when you want the meat. Just
So
remove
you
the
don't need
bone.
a T-bone steak or chicken with a bone in?
No, unless I am forced to. Why would you do it? This is like driving a manual car. Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Only Shane as we wind down.
I'm not wrong. It doesn't matter. Like, it's take the bones. However they get rid of the bones, they should be everywhere. They should no longer be boneless. And I know Nikki's just like, oh, it's the fun part, eating around the bone. What the fuck is that? That doesn't sound fun. Just put the whole thing in your mouth.
Oh my God. Rob, again, any updates on, because I know we're doing the 10-year anniversary in January, Apollon seminar. Any updates you want to share? Any teasers, anything?
I know we're gonna put up an invitation soon, but obviously you guys are invited. I told Shane as well. So yeah, it's January 18th at Apollon Gym. Definitely gonna have a nice party.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Well, as always, guys, it's good seeing you. We appreciate the time. And to all the listeners, comment below. You want to see this triumvirate again? Let us know. But as always, happy
Or if you hate
Thanksgiving.
us, you think we're
Well, what?
shit, say that as well.
Yeah, give us a thumbs down, thumbs up, one of
Yeah,
these, whatever.
you guys are disgusting.
Take care, everybody. Bye now.
Okay, bye.